an interesting things that is happening right now that is showing to you that we are ruled by idiots who think politics is Twitter. Listen, I know that when I talk to politics, I understand. My father is a career politician. He's been in politics in his country his whole life. Of course, there's been 20 years of exile, but all he aspired to do has always been politics because that's what he feels for his country. And this is not why I believe what I believe. I believe what I believe because of being interested in politics for the last 20 years. Not only politics in the country where I'm a national, which is France, but also politics in Africa, which is completely different. Plus geopolitics in general, which is the politics of countries between countries. And if there's something that is my conclusion to all this and that people hate, but this is my conclusion, it is that politics is a job. It's something that you have to be a professional of politics to do politics, and not somebody that comes from outside and that think politics is Twitter and is being influenced or to make people happy on Twitter. That's not what politics is about. Politics is about running a fucking country. And when you want to run a country, you have to be pragmatic. You don't run a country by being a little sensitive person and just trying to please all the different people who are pushing for the attention in the attention economy that is today. I believe that when you do politics, it's not to be loved by people. It's to be elected to do a job. And sometimes you have to take hard decisions, and most of the time, hopefully, you have to take just decisions. And most of the time, you have to take decisions that are pragmatic. All right. Why do I say this, and why do I start my argument with this? Oh, nobody's putting unicorns? I guess I should stop maybe. Why am I saying this? Yesterday in France, they ask football players what? Because France right now that they cannot talk about COVID and all that stuff, the new thing that everybody's talking about is ecology. Everybody's like, oh, we're gonna have to leave less carbon imprint. We have to be more green. We have to be careful. The winter is gonna be difficult, and people have to lower the gas, lower the when it's cold outside, you have to put less heat and only stay at 19 degrees maximum, because everybody have to do their part, etc., 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 because it's going to be a hard winter, because there's no gas, and there's no gas because Putin turned off the gas. All right. And then there was Kylian Mbappé, who's a football player at PSG, and he's a trainer, I guess. And they asked him, what about the fact that football players are taking a plane to go from game to game? You taking a plane? Why don't you take the train, for example, with everybody, with the normal population? And a journalist asked this, and they made a joke. They said, we actually were talking about this, and we decided that we're gonna go by boat. We're gonna take a skipper to go, and then they laughed. Now, it was a joke. And right now in France, that joke is what the whole political class is using to display the usual little racism in France, and to remind all these football players that came from the ghetto and from the poor classes of black and Arab people in France. Yeah, listen, you're a football player, and we made you what you are, and you cannot joke about the things, etc., etc. You little, etc., etc. And listen, in France, they hate rich people, and if you're rich, you come from the ghetto, it's even worse. And the first thing I'm gonna say is no, you didn't make them what they are. They are multi-millionaire football players because they work from the age of 7 till today hard to become who they are. So they don't owe you nothing. People come to watch the game, and people pay money to watch the game, and people are putting so much money to watch the game that they pay those people to run behind the ball and to display their technique, and the people are ready to pay so much money that the players are getting a lot of money. This is just stupid economics, and the politicians, they know that, but they're playing the hypocrite. And now they want to tell you that those teams have to go and stop using the plane and take the train with everybody else, just because of the energy, the carbon footprint, and everybody has to be green, etc., etc. Forgetting that not even 6 months ago, the Prime Minister of France, the ex-Prime Minister, Jean Castex, took a private jet from wherever he was to go to Paris or wherever city so he could vote. So he took a jet and came, vote, and then took the jet back and got out. And that was normal. The same people are now telling football players, you should not take the plane, when these guys have no problem doing that. They just listen. And first of all, how did we get there? How did we get there? You guys are obsessed with the idea that you believe that you are going to be able to stop the Russians from the war they are doing with Ukraine, and that you've been there supplying weapons, doing everything, putting Russia out of SWIFT, not wanting to pay what you're supposed to pay them for the gas that you use, and then they cut the gas. And now that you cut the gas because of your stupid decisions, because you are doing politics the same way as you are tweeting, instead of thinking a little bit of, hey, if we do this, it might escalate to this, and it might escalate to this, and then the people who vote for you, me, will suffer, because they will have to do economies of etc., etc., because of your decisions. And now you are pretending that, and listen, and Zelensky is out there in Ukraine telling everybody what they should do. Everybody forgot. Listen, let me go on Zelensky. He's just there telling, hey, let's stop doing this. Oh, you should do this. Hey, you should stop working with and you guys just listen like little puppets. I don't know why. Like, listen. Again, I love all my Ukrainian friends. I've been there. I performed there. I have a lot of friends that come from there, and I feel for them. I understand what they go through, because my country have been in war for years and years and years and years and years, and nobody cares. So I understand how he feels. But when you are a politician and you are supposed to take decisions for your country and for the people that elected you, you don't go in Europe and take decisions with von der Leyen without addressing the people. You just come and say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do sanctions, we're going to do this, not even thinking what is going to create. Because the situation where we are and where all Europe is going to be out of gas, out of the industry not being able to do their thing, Germany is going to be fucked, and a lot of countries are going to be in problems, inflation, etc. All this is your decisions. don't point the fingers at Russia, at Ukraine, because you could just go to the diplomatic route and trying to find a solution to this. From 2014, you didn't do nothing. Now that the Russians lost patience and they had their plans, they were ready, they were waiting for you, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna cut the gas. And you didn't think they would cut the gas. They did. And now you're telling French people that they have to do an effort, and you're telling footballers, yeah, you should stop taking the plane. Yo, what about you, the politicians who give lessons to everybody? You stop having all this audacity and you start taking the subway like all of us. Why don't you take the subway? Do you need a driver? Do you need a driver and moto and motos and etc.? Do you need that? You don't. But you love to point fingers at other people. Okay, so if you care so much about the independence of Ukraine from Russia, and they're people, they have the right to choose by themselves, especially France. Here's what you're gonna do for me. Give back Martinique, Guadeloupe, Guyane, Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon, the rest of the Tom, everybody in every Tahiti. Give back all these territories you have all around the world, because you are still working and talking like a colonial empire, and you have all these little territories that are part of the French that you should give back to all the people who live there. You're not gonna do it. Why? Because you need to launch the thing there. You need to have the bananas there. You need to have your vacation place there. You need to have the power it gives you on the maritime routes, because this is your territory. So if you have a little island somewhere, it gives you all the land, I think 10, 20 kilometers outside of the islands. All this is your territory. So France is actually has the biggest colonial empire still. You are still printing money from West Africa, from France, all that stuff. And you are the one who's talking the most and trying to give lessons to everybody. And I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. That's what you should do. Stop having this audacity of trying to shame people for all your own decisions, because all this is your doing. We all got here in the first place because you decided to double down on sanctions and sanctions and sanctions. You made people understand that, yeah, listen, being part of the monetary system that you guys built for you, and you pretend you built it for the world, it's not worth it. If I'm Russia, if I'm China, if I'm India, I'm like, yo, listen, all these small countries have a lot of power, and they should not. Listen, we, the French, we have a small country. It's a small country. 60,000 people. What is 60 million? Sorry. What is 60 million people compared to 1.5 billion? How are we still the fifth economic power in the world? It's not because of the corruption of other people. No, it's because of everything you did in the past to be there. And now you want everybody to act a certain way as if you are virtuous. Listen, as I said before when I started this show, we don't need to be in a country where we look in the past all the time. We have to look in front. But at the same time, stop the BS. Please stop the BS. Stop asking football players. Okay, listen. All right. Let's say that football players decide that they're going to take the train. How are you going to do the logistic of 50 people? Because these are football players, plus their managers, their team members, the rest of the team, the trainers, the massagists, everybody that comes with a team of football. There's 22 players plus the rest of the team. A team is usually 50 people that are traveling, right? So how you do when you're gonna have Neymar, Mbappe, Mais see all these people crossing Gare du Nord to go take the train, you don't think you're gonna have like a massive amount of fans and it's gonna be a nightmare? This is why they have to fly private. And all these people, they don't think, this is what I'm saying, listen, leave politics to politicians and go back to doing commentary on Twitter. Politics is not tweets. These people, they just want to talk, say something because they want to exist through the BS, through the new scandal. And they don't even think about the repercussions of what they say. They don't even think about the repercussions of what the actions, the laws that they decide. And they don't even think when they say, hey, you guys should take the train. They don't even think, how is it even possible? There's no private place. Like, listen, when you take a plane as a team, there's a private part of the airport where you're going to fly from. And yeah, listen, they have matches every weekend. There's 50 teams playing every weekend. And they're just flying. The logistics are crazy. You cannot mix them with the normal people. Because it's going to be, listen, the normal people will go crazy. That's how it is. And you cannot just say, oh, I don't care. Listen, you might not care, but the rest of the people will care. It will go crazy. And the kids and everybody will want to do photos. That's why they have to be protected. Because not only they earn a lot of money, but they also are worth a lot of money because of economics. Because people will go and spend money to see them play. So stop shaming them that because they're rich. Listen, this is one of the reasons why I left France at a point. It's a country where you don't even feel right because like you work hard to make money. All of us who didn't work from Monday to Friday, we work from Monday to Monday and we didn't sleep. We work hard to have what we have. And then only to have people wanting to tax us more and to tell us that, oh yeah, who you think you are. And at a point you're like, you know what? Bye. And listen, rant over.